In the last channel update that I did, where we played the last Kenny Everett record, Nice Time, once that had played, I made reference to the fact that I wasn't quite sure what we would be seeing next at the Super 8 Rescue. And I made mention of this box of cine film that I've got that people didn't want back after they'd had their scanning done. So it's a sunny Saturday afternoon, so there's only one thing to do. Cheers. Oh, that's lovely. So back in 2017, I bought the much feared Wolverine Cine Scanner from Amazon. It cost about £300, but it did at least let me see my cine films from the 1970s when I was a Royal Navy cook on HMS Ark Royal. It wasn't very good at scanning. The quality of the scans actually was pretty miserable compared to, say, having a 2K scan done by a professional lab. But the cost of that is really significant. So I persevered with the Wolverine and got results that I was happy enough with to be satisfied. And then I managed to be in touch with a very clever man called Stan, who lives in Florida. And he designed a complete modification for the scanner, and I had one of the first incarnations of it, and it was called Hawkeye. And this mod replaced the camera board and the control board and the original camera with a new board that Stan had made. I bought a separate camera to go on that, and you could end up then taking still images of each frame in either TIFF, PNG or JPEG and capture an image sequence to a laptop. And that was a huge improvement. I charge rock bottom prices simply because I enjoy giving people their memories back, which in some cases I guess stretch back to the early 1960s, and none of them have been seen since. And there were some remarkable films amongst that lot, even the Thames Barrier in London being built. I mean, quite remarkable images. So that's why I did it for other people, so they could have their memories back. And as time went on, more and more people sent film to me, asking me not to send the film back again afterwards because they were done with it. And I guess that makes sense, although that's not something I do. And I know a lot of people kind of shudder at the thought of not getting their cine film back. For the number of people that do want their film back, there's just as many who say, no, you just get rid of the film and send me back the scans on the USB stick. So what do I do with it then? Chuck it in the bin? That's an awful lot of plastic to throw out, and I'm not having that. Sell it? Well, it's not really appropriate to sell it without the owner's consent, and I suppose I could have asked at the time, but that would have seemed a bit ruthless, wouldn't it? Oh, well, if you don't want your film back, can I sell it? You know, because they could equally sell it, couldn't they? So it's a difficult one, you know, just throwing it in the bin. I'm not comfortable with doing that at all. Here I am left with a pile of cine film, and I don't know what to do with it. I could give it to a charity shop, but again, it's not really my place to give other people's cine personal memories away to a complete stranger. So it sits in a cupboard. I mean, just look at it. And at some point, I have to get rid of it. I retire in April 2024, and I hope, if all goes well, I shall be leaving the UK and never coming back. And I just can't bring myself to throw this much plastic in the bin. I'd like to put a few of these reels back on the scanner over Christmas and pull out some shots together for a Christmas special for Cine. There are always lots of Christmas shots in Cine films, from family memories and of course the baby in the bath and the wedding shots, but Christmas shots are always a favourite for the Cine cameraman to capture. Unlike today, where you can film hours and hours of video on your phone, it doesn't cost you a penny and you can delete it. Cine film was precious and expensive and only 3 minutes a reel, so you really had to carefully pick and choose what you shot. Look at all this film. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of feet of it. Those big 400-foot reels, I mean, half a dozen of those. Most of the regular 8, or standard 8, whatever you want to call it, there seems to be more of that than the Super 8. And I also noticed that the standard 8 film really kept its colour all these years later, whereas the Super 8 film nearly always goes blue, which is horrible, but that blue can be removed in post. Look at all this, and can you see the one, or have you spotted that one orange reel? That holds something particularly interesting. I've had 2 instances of this type of film in the last 5 years. The first was a chap who got hold of his father's films for me to scan. I can't remember exactly, but there was a landmark event coming up in the family. They wanted to get his dad's film scanned so they could show them at a summer garden party on a big video projector. So I worked my way through them, and part way through the reels I put a 50-footer on the scanner, started it up, and the first thing I saw was a naked couple in faded black and white going for it on the sofa like 2 rabbits. Yikes. Of course, I stopped the scanner, took the reel off, contacted the chap and let him know. He wasn't surprised or worried, but did ask me to dispose of the reel, which I did. I stripped it off the reel, cut it into shreds and binned it. A few scans later, this orange reel came into my possession during another batch of scanning for somebody. And again, this time I was asked specifically not to return the reels. So the orange reel went on the scanner, and it was clear from the word go that this was not your typical home movie. Again, it was very adult content, which I should point out I don't have a problem with at all. I'm an ex-Navy sailor, so, very little shocks me. But it did bring up memories of the adult market 40 years ago. You could go and buy an adult reel of CINE, apparently. And it was common that you'd see those films with lots of frame burns in where people would put the projector on pause to have a closer look. The days of early pornography on CINE film, goodness me. Unlike today, goodness me, let's not even go there. And while I don't intend to publish this orange reel, I am going to put it on the scanner and pull out a few scenes that won't offend anyone, just to look at the clarity of the film and the furniture of the day. So do stay tuned. I promise not to show anything that will make you blush, but it'll be interesting to see how it looks. I honestly haven't seen it. I put it on the scanner the minute I saw a naked couple. Turn the scanner off because I'm not going to be producing pornography. Thank you very much. As for the rest of this CINE film, if you've got any bright ideas about how I deal with all this without compromising anyone's personal memories, do leave me a comment down below. It was very common to film kids in the bath or on the beach, and that sort of content's very personal, so I can't give that away or sell that. That's private stuff, and I don't think that should be given away, so that would probably have to be destroyed. But some of the reels are just scenery, so I guess those can either be sold or donated to charity, but going through all that lot will take forever. And as I said, most of it seems to be standard 8, and I only have a Super 8 projector, so I can't whiz through it to see what was on it. It didn't occur to me at the time when I was doing the scanning to keep a note of just what was on each reel, because there's so much of it. It just went in a box once it was done if it wasn't going back to its owner. So there we are, the Super 8 Rescue CINE Archive, and if you have any good ideas about what I should do with all this film, do let me know. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.